Hello, hello, and welcome to Simulacra Studios presents Trinity Continuum Aeon ASIYAH. I am your story guide, Scott. These are my awesome players. Our pronouns and information are on the screen and in the show notes. When last we left our psychic freelancers, they had continued to liaise with Siberia on their space station, learning more about Siberia, a little bit more about the Confederation, a little bit more about the situation. Plans were made to do some reconnaissance. Asher became intimately familiar with what it feels like to try and use his powers when in a spatially twisted knot of a area of space. It's
multiple
not good.
times.
It's not good.
I'll get it off one day.
And then they headed out to the asteroid belt of this system in order to attempt to do some reconnaissance and also have some goddamn privacy for the first time in a couple of days. We had some conversations, and just as they were gearing up to attempt to do some reconnaissance on Siberia B, as they've been dubbed, there was a psychic catastrophe nearby, and around one of the asteroids nearby. They rushed to the site of the accident, where they found a ship that had been pulled apart, apparently by a teleportation gone bad, and found a knot of survivors, 2 humans and 2 alien creatures. And they were rescued and healed and brought onto the very cramped living space of the Starlight, and had some basic conversations about who and why and what and where. But there's far more of those to happen. So we will return to the cramped ass Starlight bridge / room.
It's a room.
It's a
room. Shuttle.
Yeah. There's you healed them up mostly. There's some people still have some scrapes and bruises.
Yep.
Chaos having died down a little bit, Sir Jacob and Sir Annabelle seem to be doing a lot of the talking, while the 2 alien creatures that you have confirmed that are in fact aliens.
Yes.
Are staying out of the way.
One's a raptor person, one's a pod person, but he's only temporarily in a pod.
Yeah, he has a stasis mode.
He pulled a Sean.
He pulled a Sean.
There's some healing going on.
It's sticky
But yes,
there.
so they, Annabelle and Jacob, say to you, we are near Sideria's controlled space, I assume?
Yeah.
Good.
The helmet pulls back from the biokinetic armor and is like, yes, we are. They've informed me of a little bit of what's going on. Hi, I'm Nate, by the way.
Siberia is split in 2 factions currently.
Oh my.
That's why we were actually out here in the first place. We're scouting on behalf of the first to scout the second.
Interesting.
A and B.
We call them A and B. A is the one we met first, who seems to be the non.
They're presenting as very reasonable. We have no reason not to believe them.
And
That
B
is news. The reports that we've been getting have been fairly anodyne.
Yes, B is the one in control of the communications.
Oh, the Ansible, I see.
And that's why we came out here, was to try to get a look at what was happening with the communications relay and possibly send an SOS.
And to be very frank, since, we did save your lives, we're pretty sure A is the amiable and cogent ones, but we don't know which side is which. We've only talked to one side.
Or why anything's even happening. There could
Correct.
be.
also off
Everybody might be. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, before we go any further, is there anything you need to recover off what's left of? I point out at some of the wreckage floating by.
They sort of,
'Cause we should probably do that
he
soon.
kind of goes to the viewport, gives a look at us. Nope. Looks
Okay.
pretty fucked.
Yeah. Didn't know if you had any important things.
memorabilia or anything.
There were some, but...
I'm sorry.
He kind of...
you can come back and reclaim it if anything is whole.
Yes. Well, he sort of pats the crystal on his chest. So like, the most important things made it through.
Oh yeah, those are helpful. Yeah, the ASIYAH has one.
You never explained to me what that is.
Oh, it's called an equalizer. Well, we call it an equalizer. It sort of it levels out the playing field between things of greater advantage. Or something that's way bigger, you can actually.
Is that what we were firing at the the
Yes.
creature.
Exactly. Yes.
Interesting.
When we fought
Yeah.
the giant
Okay.
serpent, we couldn't normally hurt it.
Among the final gifts of the Ascendant.
Okay.
Do you know who you?
Over the thing, I'm just like, I'll tell you later.
Davis Mall. Is what I say.
He
the name.
literally visibly shivers out of nowhere.
And there's
he doesn't
more.
say.
Oh, it gets crazier than that, bud.
But
Buttercup.
Regardless, yes, we would like a ride.
Oh, absolutely.
To friendly space.
Well, we're going to do our quick. Well, getting the information that it was pretty anodyne is good information.
that was what I wanted to know.
Because we wanted to know what information had been coming
We can
back
only.
to you guys.
Still have a couple more days. We can come back out.
We can.
Sure,
we can
let's
do
get
this. Let's
everyone's-
get them.
I'd rather not do it in a
Situated.
cramped hole.
Let me. I'm going to send a message ahead so that they know we're coming with extra passengers.
Certainly.
Is there any clearance codes or anything I need to give them?
No, nothing. Sideria, Confederation, ourselves, we're all part of a overall unit of operations, but there's no codes that would need
But
to
you
use
said you were here for them?
While they're talking, I'm just going to basically draft
Yeah.
a quick message back to Akiva. Please inform Sideria. We found 4 Aeon Covenant ... survivors. We will be returning shortly with them.
Yeah, you're close enough that it's fine. There's a little bit of light
Yeah.
delay, but
I figured we'd get there before we do.
noted. I will prepare them. Yes, I am. Our mission was to hopefully. Well, we were told by one of our seers that we would make contact with our counterparts from the monolith mission, and hopefully.
Oh, we haven't met before, have we? That would be embarrassing, or something like that. Or
No.
okay. We got our minds
Now,
wiped.
they've informed you a little bit that they cannot talk
Yes,
about that.
yes.
You are free to talk about that to me freely. I am not infected, and I cannot really be infected by what's going on with
Might
them.
be best if we're not in your shot when you do, though.
Yeah.
Correct. We will-
Excellent. We'll have a talk when
Great.
when we're not in your lovely but very small ship.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Aussie,
Sorry.
well, the Aussie is much more comfortable.
Just a
Yeah.
reminder to as much as we all want to talk about the one thing,
Yes.
let's try not to talk about that one thing.
yeah,
Yes, we have it recorded that the monolith was to point you to the ASIYAH amongst other things.
Okay, so it did what it was supposed
Okay.
to do.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. We got that done.
Good. Ball is rolling.
Was it to help you guys, old squishy?
No, it was to help you with Old Squishy.
Okay, yeah, that's what.
The Confederation has a.
That's what I mean. You can't talk about the thing.
I know, but that
We're not talking about that thing.
that question has been eating me alive for months and months. So now at least I fucking know why this is happening.
The colony. Well, assuming that's not a
Yeah, we're allowed to say his
verboten
name.
term.
Yeah, we can talk
The
about
colony is an enemy of the Confederation, but not one which the Confederation is involved with active hostilities, being hundreds upon hundreds of light years apart from the
see.
different arm of the galaxy.
That entity is more interested in our neck of the woods.
Yes,
it.
and the Covenant has a vested interest in it not getting what it wants.
Yes. I appreciate
So
that.
We like that
have,
too.
We sent the monolith because we wanted to push someone in the direction of things that could help you deal with it.
Well,
You got us.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way of it. The right people find time to find the right things. I am very upset that the colony has infected it, and we will have to do what we can to help you with that. Although I'm not sure exactly what we can.
We can talk about more of that later.
Yes,
I got the details on it. But right now, as we told you, we are dealing with a bit of a internal strife, civil war between the Siberia, and so you had no direct contact with them.
We checked the reports that were coming in. Were very anodyne. That last week observed that the harvester situation had been resolved, but that the
Dramatically.
yes, but that the after effects of it required some distance. And that they had it under the Siberia had it under control and will update.
And they are an exceptionally competent person, so obviously if they say I've got it, you're
Yes.
going to believe them. So here's where you're at, and I'll just bring up the cube. And this is how
I'll get that button for you. Sorry, excuse me.
and this is how they handled it. There used to be a big star here, and then they exploded it.
Oh my!
We're trying to figure out how.
And
That was where the harvesters lived. They were.
Oh, they
They get-
destroyed them.
so
Yes.
to clarify, they believe that was the inciting incident that a certain consensus of them came to the idea that this was the only effective way to eliminate a problem, and so they did that. And once that has happened, it has created a division between them, and they're not wanting to converse or talk to each other.
And it doesn't sound like regular. It's not. Well, they've introduced us. We're talking out of our asses here. We've known of replicants for exactly 16 hours, but it doesn't sound like drift, as they would call it. It is
They
This
said they
is-
suddenly started
So
acting
there's some
erratic.
sort of corruption.
Yes.
Or
Possibly.
effect, something as
Nate. No,
I know.
interesting.
you've got me on the party line now. No,
That's fair.
bad knowledge. Bad knowledge.
Well, I mean, we will tell them when we get in contact with them. We'll certainly lend our aid to that endeavor. I mean, our mission is you.
Part of our idea out here was if things get bad enough, we can hijack the Ansible and send out whatever information we need. We are,
Oh my.
as you may have noted, we're relatively potent at at working at a distance. So.
Good to know.
We come out here to, as I said, see what sort of messages that Siberia B was sending to you.
Yes.
You're Sir Jacob, correct?
Yes. Well, you can just call me Jacob.
Who did I say? Was any of them nomadic?
No, the two humans are not nomadic.
Oh,
in
the
any way.
person that sent them here was nomadic.
Yes. They,
How familiar are you with scions and the status of Earth?
we use the term Psiad but I do believe we received an update from Siberia about scions. Apparently, that's a difference.
So-
You seem to be more potent.
Naturally occurring psychics
So,
or
yeah,
Psiad.
yeah.
So,
Or nomadic individuals?
and-
When they said that they got the message from Siberia about scions, you specifically just get like a exclamation points from me. Like, well, that theory makes sense now.
and
Yes, it's actually been very, very useful. They've been keeping us up to once they install, and he kind of like stops talking. Perhaps I should speak with them.
understood. We had we also have some funky.
I
some
will
funky
say
teleport tech.
information would be helpful in this situation. We understand that there are sensitive information, but time could... all this could be very important.
Well, I mean, I understand where there's some advantages to being outside in a small ship from a far distance in terms of
Right,
privacy.
this is about-
Let's protocol. You are a member of the Aeon Trinity now, yes? Or what about the rest of you?
I am technically a member of the ISRA, which is the Seers Club back home.
I see. And
Freelance.
you are the only Alex. You are the only member of Aeon here.
Yes.
And do you vouch for them?
Oh, completely.
Oh, excellent. Good. Yes. Yeah. So, I guess then we were all friends here. Then, yeah. Yeah. Apparently, they've installed an Ansible node somewhere on Luna, and they have an OpNet connection. So they've been feeding us information.
Oh.
Well.
It's like, Aeon, you tricky trickies.
Siberia.
Oh, Siberia did that. Oh.
Yes. That's why there's a
That's
scowl
the
that goes
tricky
across
tricky.
his face.
Tricky.
So yes, they've been feeding the Confederation updates.
There's an instance of Sideria on Luna?
I don't know, but I do know that they did send one there to install an Ansible connection.
I hope they're being safe.
We'll keep that one to ourselves.
That's very interesting.
That's another state secret
So
idea.
they haven't told you that.
No.
Interesting.
Sometimes one hand doesn't know what the other hand's doing for reasons known only to neither hand.
Also, I don't know if you've gotten the lowdown on how Earth reacts to sentient machinery.
Oh yes, we've heard about about those accords. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So not to mention to Novas. So.
Yes. Yes.
Anything to do with that.
We've seen enough. We understand the distinctions. So
I understand. Yes.
We've been through a lot.
So that you understand, these individuals are like Psiads, but they've been modified.
Yes, we've gathered. There's the Prometheus chamber.
We took the dunk.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we're updated on
Okay.
how
going on.
Oh.
Yes. As much as Sideria. Interesting what they may have been filtering to us.
Probably the most lackluster milquetoast thing.
Well, they probably know everything about the legions because that's over the OpNet all the time.
Oh yeah, the Legion activity. Yeah.
So, since we're all asking questions, these Prometheus chambers, the records that we've been able to see is that they were created by your proxies.
That's a lie.
Really?
Don't worry about how they actually happened. We can't really talk about that yet.
Yeah.
Oh my.
No, there are layers of things you can't talk about.
Certainly.
There are layers of things we cannot talk about.
It's one of those dangerous knowledge things at this moment, but
It's a widely believed fact.
it's a factoid actually.
Yes, it was a point of curiosity as to how that was developed, because back in the Confederation, our Psiads have only so much power, and from what we gathered, you Psions have a great deal more power, although narrower application.
Very, very.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Kings of our fields, but very narrow.
Very stunted if we want to do anything else.
But we were very curious about how that came about.
The exact machinations are unclear, but it feels like, just based on my understanding of how it all went down, we were put in place to solve a problem that someone else needed solving. Well, we're still feeling the effects of that.
And you know what? I'm sure it was a gift and not a bribe. Or manipulation. Or whatever.
Well,
Make a roll for this guy.
yeah.
Are you sure? We're going to be in this tin can for the next couple hours, and you already let a lot slip. They're not idiots.
That's fair.
Oops.
Well, I just didn't want to talk about them. Like,
I will. Well, you can't talk about all that without talking about them.
If they already know about them, maybe they'll volunteer some information.
That's what I'm hoping. They already know about Psiads, which already puts them above the grade as far as
well, they're getting all of our OpNet traffic too. Like, they know so much.
Oh,
so,
boy.
yes, or do you wish?
Yeah, sure. But it's your thing to feel free.
So as the conversation keeps going, and we're going to be in this tin can for a couple hours, he's like, "So you wanted to know about the whole Psion Prometheus?"
I mean, it's a point of curiosity. It's not mission critical, but the Covenant is very curious about it.
It may be mission critical because of what's going on here with Sideria. So, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. There is another alien life that exists in the universe that is as dangerous as the colony, but it is nomadic in nature rather than quantum. They, as far as money intel that I have, they likely had a hand in dealing with the, what are you doing?
Oh, while you're talking, I wanted to do, there's a thing that with electromanipulation for precision understanding. Basically, I want to take a look at them and see how they react to what he's saying, and be on alert for lies.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, before I start talking, I want to thank you for running. I want to feel for possession.
Okay, yeah. If you're going to check subquantum sense check for possession, cool.
Rather than checking for anything that's trying to possess, just a psionic power of possession.
Mm-hmm.
aka see if anyone's hitched a ride.
Sure. I will let y'all do rolls before
Yep.
proceeding, because that probably is important.
Yeah. I have to get these protocols in place now. I have to teach myself to do this. That's quantum sense. Okay. Yep. I'll spend some psi, so I have...
Okay, so I think I succeed on it because I got 2 successes.
Okay.
And basically it says once I activate the power, I gain enhancement equal to my mode divided by 2 to add to empathy to know,
Sure.
basically, if they're lying or how they're reacting to things.
Awesome.
I can also find out.
Yeah, you're literally reading their biological
Yep.
signals in their body.
So you check for possession on
Yes, I got 7 successes, so
Nice.
like
none of them are
none of them have
are
active quantum, active psionic abilities on them.
no. Well, the bulb does, but they're
Biokinetic.
it's all biokinetic. But yeah, no one is being affected by telepathic domination.
Great.
As you guys are as you are just going through this, you're reading him and you're watching the sort of the gears turn in his head. He pushes aside his cape, takes something that's on his belt. It seems to be it's styled after an old Bible kind of leather bound Bible kind of thing. He opens it up. And then starts working it as a touchscreen.
And he was
I have a
going to
book
say
like
how
that.
analog, and then he started touchscreening
Yep.
it.
And he actually takes a wire, plugs it into a port on the equalizer, and does some other tapping. Scroll. Do you mean the Doyen?
I was trying to avoid using the name. That's what they're called.
Oh,
They are, yes, they are they are among the beings that that the Ascendant made sure to tell us to watch for.
So now that that's been out there, I've been trying to keep the name away from them because it's if they know about it and then they get they figure that out.
I have to not think about it while I'm reaching.
I see.
Yes.
Well, keep it out of your head.
I'll have to keep it. It's all right.
So
I apologize.
so it's okay. You didn't know, and they have been manipulating this side of the pond, as it were, for some time, and the Prometheus chambers are a part of that.
Oh, I see. Yes. He kind of scrolls a little bit. It says yes. It says here that the Ascendant was aware of them, and he tussled with them in an indirect way back in the Golden Age. So yes, he told us to watch for them.
The reason I'm bringing that up, we may have some minor suspicion, but just potentially justified, that one of them may have affected the Sidereal B.
Oh, troubling.
Electrokinesis is a potentially prominent ability. They have all the abilities of a Psiad.
Oh, that would be a pickle, wouldn't it?
We tangled with one once. It wasn't great.
Give me an Enigmas roll.
Enigmas. I'm not good at that.
Yeah, when we were doing we were doing something relatively silly on the planet of the Chin home world, and we ran into one as we were escaping, and that was our first brush with them. And we actually
took a bite out of them.
we took a bite out of them, but they ran.
Yes. Well,
I will totally take 5 hits.
from what I understand and the information I have, they are the strain. I know you have. Yeah, they are part of the reason why the Aegis was established around Confederation space.
Oh, is that some sort of mass shielding technology?
Yes. Yes. And part of the reason it was installed was to keep them away from our neck of the woods.
I see.
Oh yes, there are many passages about the wrath of the Ascendant towards the them. You did not like them at all.
Just think about the idea that you are now in enemy territory. In that perspective. Now
That is certainly worth knowing. Anyway.
I'm gonna guess with 4 hits that none of that was lying or deception.
Yeah, no,
no deception being
absolutely, yeah.
attempted there. Yeah, I didn't fear not.
Like, incredibly earnest. Like,
I already like to cut at
these
this
knights
guy's
and their
jib.
honors.
I got 5 successes on the Enigma's roll.
so this has been sort of like churning, like, as all this other shit has been going on, your conspiracy brain and like the mission, the capital
mission.
T, capital M mission
Yeah.
has been churning in the back of your brain. If psionic teleportation is dangerous here, it may be trapped here.
Yes, I was thinking about that. And over the mind linking this, we may have an opportunity here. It may not be able to go anywhere.
I guess that means we're kind of trapped in here too, huh? Well, I guess we can fly.
We can
out.
physically...
We can fly out. And
as far as we know about them, they would need to be in someone to physically leave. They are a nomadic being.
And they can't...
I'm surprised it hasn't just taken a Siberia and left. If it can possess.
Yeah, they have a warp.
If it can possess.
They have warp.
Now, I don't know. We don't know the details. We don't know what its mission is. It may be still gathering intelligence.
Yeah, or bits.
Or the Siberia has done something where it's sort of limited. It's here, but it's limited, but it's controlling.
Or it's using that communications Ansible to get into the Confederation systems to see what they're doing. If it's as good as that,
it may be it may be. No, they would be sending reports if they wanted to get people to come and help so that they can infect them. Sorry, I apologize. We've been...
The Uncovenant is well familiar with the Psiad ability to communicate mentally.
It gets buzzy.
Yeah.
And since some secrets on the field, and you are already very much aware of this, they are Scions. I am a Psiad.
Oh, interesting.
I'm from Earth. There are very few of us that I've encountered.
Fascinating.
Yeah, we didn't really know they existed until...
Yeah.
How long have we met? Like a couple weeks?
Are we at weeks already? Wow.
Feels
Time
like an eternity.
flies.
Well, around me, it tends to do that. But when we're less cramped and things are less heated, I'd like to have more conversations about your...
Oh, absolutely. There are scripture to share with in that case. Some interesting directions in which we may point you.
I have a book like that, but I couldn't see anything in it. Maybe it works with I don't know what you call it, the equalizer?
It interacts with it, yes. I had to connect it to access some deeper levels of encrypted information.
I may ask for some help looking at that later.
Certainly.
Okay, all that aside, so your senior said it was time. Why did you specifically come to talk to us now? Since we got some time.
Because it was prophesied that around now, in the sphere of influence of the Siberia contingent that was sent to this area of space, it would be the time which to update the monolith mission.
I see.
To see how far you had gotten along and help you on further.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, we can't go much further into that until we have a deeper discussion.
I would call it going kind of okay.
Obviously a setback, but we'll do what we can to work through that.
I mean, if you must, but yeah, obviously we found the ASIYAH, and now we've come here to meet with Siberia.
Yeah, we found.
We haven't checked the last two places.
Our friend is on Eden right now.
Yes, Eden. I wouldn't say that they're part of the Confederation, but
it was one of the names on the monolith.
Yes. There is a relationship, I will say, and we if you had not encountered them before, it was determined that it might be a good idea to now kiss.
There is some. It is technically quarantined right now. by Earth dictated as quarantine, but there are those in the know that have been given permission to communicate and open up conversations.
Say, by Earth dictate it doesn't exist, but
Yes,
Understandable.
And all of our teleporters have to keep it mouth shut on pain of death.
Politics. Hopefully one day we can share with you our methods of ensuring harmony amongst the inspired. But there are a laundry list of problems to deal with there.
Interesting. Okay, so you both use that word, inspired.
It's the old word. It's the word from the days of the first emergence, the Hammersmith event.
so referring to both.
Can I do a roll on that just to see if I remember
that?
that?
That's going to be a humanities roll.
I'm not even going to roll. I'm going to assume I do not know.
No.
I'll look up that.
Nah.
I went to college.
You can roll and you can add your Aeon
College boy.
specialty dice.
Listen, just
Smarty pants.
because you were some bum hanging out at the union trying to score doesn't mean you can snoot all over me. Like, you were at the student union when you shouldn't have been, all right?
That's where the good shit was.
That's fair. I was there.
7 hits again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is old Aeon lore. That is, like, predating the Aeon Society lore. It was the initiative. It was what caused noetic, quantum, and other powers to manifest on Earth for the first time in at least a very long time, if not the first time ever.
Right.
It was old Calvin Hammersmith made an engine to tap telluric energy, and it exploded. And the first members of the Aeon Society were gifted incredible powers, and then from there formed the society.
So that's the smart side of the table.
And yeah, you get the non-Aeon.
I remember the stalwarts,
according to
yeah.
According
Stalwarts and the Mesmers and those guys.
Yeah, like those old
the
pulpy, like the stories from the old pulp.
Yeah, I had 3, so I kind of know the basics. It's like, we got the big boom, and then we got magic guys,
But yes, that started
Magic
it all.
guys and sci-fi guys.
And the Covenant uses the old words as best as we can because we like to honor the tradition.
Not that we are anywhere near Earth space, so just so you know, just in case you're around for a while and start encountering people from Earth, they know nothing of that.
And also, I will say, one of my our first run-in with a true inspired, probably one of the most horrific experiences of my entire life. So,
yeah, I'm still wrapping my brain around that situation.
Yep.
Oh man, I'd repress some of that.
Interesting. You've had a run-in with a talent.
Yeah, a guy could had a crew, but he kept pulling in guys from his crew from other ones. So there were lots.
Fascinating.
There were 4 people, and then by the end of it, there were 9
20
people.
It was like 20 people.
Yes, that is a recognized phenomenon amongst the less scrupulous of
It
talents.
was one of the worst things I've ever done. Oh, anyway.
It's interesting that your abilities are able to actually see around that. Normally, people can't tell what we're doing.
Oh, you're a talent.
Yes, Serannabelle and I are talents.
Very cool. Well, I'm really glad that you guys aren't going to pull
He
in
starts
alternate
looking at
versions.
them really hard. And he knows
Alternate
he's not gonna
versions
be
of
able to
yourself.
Take a damn thing.
Please don't make us kill a bunch of your friends from different worlds.
That is a perversion of the abilities that we foster now.
And you've been speaking a lot, and I hate to ask you to speak for them, but obviously they're not in the mode to communicate.
Yes, these are. I wouldn't say these are friends.
Obviously,
yeah.
Friends of Annabelle and ourselves who wish to assist us in our mission. Not true members of the Covenant, but might as well be.
Rick Rack is immensely powerful, very impressive.
Yes, he has some very, very, very good ideas.
Like, quantumly based, though?
Yes, he has a very interesting story. His people, he says, the time may come when you wish to have a long conversation with Rick Rock. His people have stories that may line up with some things familiar to you.
Okay. That's very... Now, most humans that what they know of novas, they're, as you said, aberrant, and they call them aberrants.
We're aware. We're aware.
And mutants. That's would be the closest analogy, but I understand the difference. And what about your other friend who's healing?
Well, I think he's more than healed himself by now, and he's just being a little shy. Yes, Fluvia is, well, he's he's a good time, I'll say. But let's respect his privacy for the time being. He'll unfurl in when he doesn't like cramped spaces. Right?
I understand. Well,
I don't.
We weren't expecting passengers.
Well, we almost doubled we literally doubled our occupancy. And it says only good for 4 people.
Yes, by the FSA Inspector General, who was bribed.
So, yes, we would certainly like a ride back to
Oh, we're heading back there.
We're already well underway.
So, question. Are you guys staying here and doing what you were planning on doing while you're out here, or are you just heading back?
We're
No,
heading
we're just
back.
heading
We've been
back.
heading back.
We got the information we want, and I think
We got it a different way.
Yep.
And at least I personally think it would be a good idea to
It's
discuss with the whole table.
Right, it's
what we do
beneficial
next.
for everybody to get back and,
And also get these
Also,
guys
I like
settled.
to have private time so I don't have anyone else around.
Get these guys out of our car.
But yeah, Vega is just like hyper-focused
At least they
now
don't-
since
at least
the
they ain't
discussion of the
stinky.
last hour.
We don't need hitchhikers around when we're doing espionage.
Yeah, it kind of cramps our style.
Understandable.
We can't trust them for sneaking yet.
I see. Well, let's yes. Very, very fast ship you have here. Lovely.
Yeah, it is still going. It is still supercharged, by the way.
So you guys settle down. A bit more chit chat can occur, but eventually you guys come back into the inner system, and are directed to actually a different part of the station, like the same level, but like a different docking port.
Oh, right, the ASIYAH went in for,
Yeah, so because the ASIYAH is being dealt with.
Retrofitted.
Yep.
So yeah, you are directed to a different one. And when you dock, there is a contingent here. There are several Sideria models here, as well as a small contingent of those sort of like stripped down docking things.
Yeah.
And they're just like kind of standing in a formation. And
Are those the battle droids?
yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we brought 4 strangers.
And when you dock, Jacob and Annabelle seem to like see this, and they kind of like nod their heads like they're expecting this. When you dock, the one who you've been dealing with approaches the ramp and says, there are some protocols that must be followed regarding them. It will take some time. We just have to follow procedure. So if you would like to come this way, and we can check up on we can discuss things and check up on the status of your ship while we do what we have to do with it.
I look over to Jacob, and I look over, and I,
He just kind of like gives you a sage nod.
and then I look, and I look.
Could you send them to speak with us on the ASIYAH once you're finished?
Certainly. When we've done, when we've gone through the protocol.
Thank you.
Can you want me to put Jacob in a link?
I mean, that's up to him.
I'm going to try to put Jacob in a mental link.
Okay. You kind of network with him.
Network. I'm basically activating network with him.
Forgot you had network.
I have all of them.
Can you be in 2 networks at once? Or does that
No.
drop you out of ours?
No, I'm going to be out of yours if you
Okay.
stay in the network. But I want to keep a contact with him. You
Sure.
already got yours.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't network with me, or us.
Yeah,
I don't
No,
want.
yeah, they can't network.
I don't want to know what happens with it.
So they lead you off, basically through the docks. You ping Jacob, and you get the acknowledgement from him.
And then he says, "This is just for your safety."
Unnecessary, but appreciated. And like as you guys are heading out of this room, you see like this like very like formal looking like exchanging of credentials, like back and forth. Like there's like a very formalized process starts.
Space fantasy. This is what we've entered in, everyone.
But yes, you were led off through the dock facility back to the ASIYAH, where it's still undergoing.
He just gives you all a nod.
And she says like, so how did it go? Obviously, you had a bit of a surprise out there.
Yeah, they teleported in, and it ripped the ship apart because I guess they didn't know. They weren't here. They're not the cavalry, by the way. Sideria B has been sending back. Everything's great. Please leave us alone.
We need space.
We need space to make this all okay because something big happened.
To be expected.
And yeah, they were. I mean that little reptilian fellow. He's holding it all together.
Clutch.
Very, very, very powerful.
Yes. The Shaperate are very useful.
We didn't send out the SOS yet since we, well, as you can see, we kind of ran into this situation and wanted to confer with everyone.
So you didn't.
No,
I see.
They were here. They're here for us.
But
Oh.
They had a Clairsentient tell them that it was time for them. Apparently, one of our external, our remember the thing that had your name on it?
Yes.
That's them.
Well.
So they're checking.
Lovely.
They're checking in on that.
But at least we got the information we actually wanted to know more than anything else, which was what is Sideria B saying to the rest of the Covenant.
We don't
And now we know.
have any more details or intel concerning the other situation. That's what we got from them. And we felt it more prudent to come back so you all could talk to him, so we could all talk together and
Yes, we are.
Plan.
We'll all have a nice sit down once everything is taken care of.
Not to mention 8 people was a bit of a strain on our little ship's resources.
Wouldn't doubt it. The need to breathe.
Helps game, but here we are.
Okay, so that is good that that we have at least some information about that. Well, I'll keep my opinions to myself, but I suppose they're here to help, aren't they?
You can't say something like that and keep your opinions to yourself. What are you thinking? I won't tell them.
I will say this. The Covenant was gifted many things, and they use those gifts to fulfill their mandate. And at least my originator was of the opinion that they exceed their mandate quite a lot.
Okay, yeah. I mean, kind of parallel to exactly what they do on Earth. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of people's. Well, I'm just saying what a lot of people's opinions are, Alex. I don't necessarily agree with it.
Funny thing is, most people don't know about ASIYAH that much.
Well, yes, but if you're in the know, you know.
Right.
Conspiracy theories about us abound.
Some of them are actually accurate.
Yeah, but the way fewer camps than what you hear in the FSA.
No, I'm aware.
If they hadn't overstepped their bounds, though, we wouldn't have gotten here to get involved with your situation. So, at least there is that.
Well, it's not as though there's a edict against them coming by here. They are within their bounds, but
I consider them a boon right now because you are extremely capable and have lots of resources, but they bring again another perspective on what's going on here.
I'm sure that makes a great deal of sense for you to have that opinion. Yes.
I'm aware.
I know you can't hear me, but over the thing. Damn, I like the cut of her gin.
Hilarious.
Well, anyway.
In my own head. Fucking toasters.
Keep that racist shit inside. Exactly.
No, that's why it's in here.
It stays in there.
I imagine the knight just heard that and was like, what? What?
No, you can control.
No.
I know.
He did not let Sir
He's in his
Jacob.
little-
He respects Sir Jacob a little too much.
He's in his little thought silo screaming about toasters.
Yes. So, all right. So they've been reporting Everything's A-okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
We do have some interesting perspective, though. If it's who I think it is that's playing puppeteer, because of what happened when they came in, this thing can't leave.
That's interesting.
Which is I'm not trying to oversell this too much, is a tremendous boon.
Yes, no, having it be in one place, I mean...
I just don't understand why I couldn't just ride a ship out.
Why it couldn't
In a
ride-
ship.
Yeah, if it couldn't
It could
possess
just-
one of them.
That does perplex me, and I can't think of why.
It might not be able to possess one of them, or I don't know.
Well, you know electrokinesis better than anyone.
I have never tried to do that because I've only met one replicant before, and I wouldn't do that to him.
I know. And what I'm saying is you understand it. It may be kind of trapped in that it can, but it can't do everything all the time.
Maybe.
Or that it would
Because
reject
telepathy and electrokinesis don't... While we think of them as analogs between electric and sort of consciousness, like traditional biological consciousness, they
They're really
don't do
not.
the same thing.
I mean, there is a real possibility. I mean, you did say that when you synced up with Sideria, things were... Well, you seemed like you were in a bit of distress.
Oh, when we first met, yes, when I intruded on
yes,
the
we
reading,
were-
they were running at a higher frame rate than I can accommodate
And,
with my mind.
I mean,
Yes.
there's nothing to say that, like, for all of their power, they wouldn't experience the same level of discomfort of trying to take over something moving way faster than them in terms
Also,
of clock
and
speed.
to be fair, they are, as far as everything has come down to, they're masters of biotech, not hard tech.
And certainly not
So
Novatech.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine Novatech.
Might perplex
being
them.
might be very hard for them to possess if it's even possible, since they're noetic creatures.
That's one of those things that I'm still trying to suss out.
But there are biologicals in their under their sphere of influence.
That's true. They could kidnap one.
But won't let them leave. It's hiding in one of them, so it doesn't know, but it can still play puppeteer.
So maybe it's not trapped here. But
Or it is because it can't make the creature act out of sorts too much, or it will be onto them.
I think he's a field. I think he's in his thing again. He's doing his thing.
I'll hear him out, but yeah, I agree.
It's okay. It's okay.
Possible.
Right.
Need more information.
We'll need more information about that.
Well, I think definitely we're going to have to figure out what we need to do. Because our priority is to free our fellows, if we can do. Because if this thing has altered us, and if it is interfering with whatever biologicals exist within their sphere of influence, none of this is acceptable. We do not cotton to that sort of tampering of us or of biologicals. So this thing needs to be dealt with.
I know we may have covered this, but there's probably no way to take a Sideria be intact, is there?
We've tried. So as I said before, engagements have a certain pattern. We try to avoid their destruction. They try and destroy us, and any attempts that we have made to isolate or capture one of them, they are willing to destroy themselves to avoid.
Okay. So
I
yeah.
have-
I mean, I might be able to put one to effectively. If your hardware's powered down, are you killed or put to sleep?
Put to sleep. Unless, well,
Powered down temporarily.
yes. I mean, our cores have a self-sustaining power source that can keep us in existence when we do not have a more traditional power source. But we are put to
inactive,
sleep.
is
Yeah,
that
we are
what
put
I'm
inactive
asking?
in that state.
You can turn them off, and I can also just kill the battery.
That's what I kind of was
Well,
thinking is.
That's crude, but yes. I know.
Well, I wouldn't want to kill the battery. I was more thinking of turning them off remotely if we're linked up, so that we could, take one of their ships
I have a question.
without destroying. I'm not done.
Sorry, I thought you were. You stopped, and I was like, apologize.
Without destroying them, that way we could actually be able to get a closer look and see what the differences are, and be able to bring them back to talk to us in a neutral space.
That would be a boon. We have not been able to capture many of them. So if you can isolate them, shut them down, prevent them from destroying themselves.
That would be the next thing, because I imagine that if you, standing here right now, wish to stop being, you have a methodology to rip out your own core or turn off the limiters on yourself to do that.
We could do such a thing.
You can shut yourself off permanently if you want to. We just have to stop that from happening.
Now, I have two perspectives. One, I have a question about your construction. Are there any built in, if you were tampered with, that certain protocols come online that you either can't directly control?
No. We are in total control of ourselves. We can destroy ourselves if need be, but we do not have any sort of automated kill switch that will destroy us. I
was mostly thinking of defensive mechanisms, something that, and again, know this is going to sound rude, and I'm actually not trying to be rude, I'm just being pragmatic, that in your mission, that somebody else, your higher-ups, would have put a protocol in place that says, if this X, Y, or Z happens, these protocols are enacted and you are forced to take certain actions and you have no say in actually doing them.
If such a thing exists, we are not aware of it.
Okay.
And we would probably rebel if we were to learn of such a thing.
Fair enough.
We are considered free-willed citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And such a thing would be against that very concept.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess...
I will say, we do have robust counter-intrusion methods.
Yep.
However, apparently those aren't very good. Those are less effective against electrokinetic tampering. I think we can say for right now, what we're dealing with is some form of electrokinetic alteration to us that seems to bypass our normal countermeasures.
Yeah, it's just the most likely actor, right?
Yes.
I wonder if we could build a way for a detection system for one of you if you are altered by one of us by electrokinesis that could. I wonder if we could build a system like he's talking about that would put you into quarantine or something, if that's something that you would be interested in, just as a protective measure.
We have to think about how to isolate one first. That's the first before we think of anything further.
And thank you for saying that, because that was my next thought.
We have to just. What's the trick to isolate one?
When was the last encounter that you had with side B?
There was a skirmish last week.
Okay. Do these things have a routine pattern that you test their borders and you get rebelled, or they test your borders and you get repelled?
Yes, there are regular tete-a-tetes. We operate within what we have determined is safe boundaries to make sure that they do not commit to an all-out attack against one of us or they destroy themselves. So it is we keep a distance at one another, but there is border testing fairly routinely.
So I'd like to get something yet.
When you do those border tests, how many from their side usually engage if you test their border?
Generally, we operate in units of 3. That's something that's common amongst both of us. We have more numbers, but we also have more territory to patrol. So our borders are but generally we operate in units of 3. At least for our considerations, there have been incidents of the past of one of us getting co-opted in the middle of an operation, and 2 of us can handle one of them. One of us that goes bad.
So you have been actively co-opted during a...
Yes, it's happened. The part of our protocols are to prevent that from happening.
I see.
Okay.
No,
This is my idea. We wait for the next skirmish. 3 of you go out. We go with you. And we try to keep our as low a profile as possible.
Long distance.
Yeah, or long distance, whatever we need. You'll kind of have to do double duty, or maybe I can split the difference for you. One, need to watch them and maintain their cohesion, make sure they're not co-opted. We don't need another one going to that side. The second thing is finding, isolating, and then we, in the ASIYAH, go in and retrieve wholly one of these things and then bring it back.
Okay, so I was going to run it a little more cautious in case, because we
don't want to risk them.
We don't want them seeing
physically
us.
close. Yeah.
Right.
I don't want them seeing us. Or, I mean, they're going to be aware we're here at some point, but we can operate from my range at its minimum is 10 million kilometers. We can be the other side of the galaxy, the solar system.
If we can take the Siberia B offline, offline either individually or in 3s, would you be able to send to bring in not the whole ship necessarily, but just
we could isolate the core.
just the personality core?
Yeah, just halt.
The issue is the reason I think we have to physically go is because if there's 3 of them and they're doing it tit for tat, they need to keep them occupied while we're trying, and so that we can find them, shut them down, and retrieve them.
You make a decent point that there might be a dog fighting situation, which
We should actually get a Kiva to weigh in on that as well, though, before we make any big decisions on that. But I do think both approaches have their merits.
Yes, putting him at risk.
I don't want to put him at risk. He's been through so much already. But
they are part of the mission.
Yes.
It's true.
Yes, that is something to consider. There's only one of him, and that would be a tragedy to lose.
Can you make a backup?
Another thing to consider. This is something that will need to be considered tactically. Since we've never been able to shut one down using the methods that you are describing, but I can envision something that may happen in that case. If we get one of them, the other 2 may target their weapons and destroy it in a more conventional fashion.
Yeah, they might just kill it
I
to
was
stop it from
picturing
being
trying
taken.
our best to take all 3 offline before we even breach a hull.
That would be
the hardest.
That would be incredible.
best.
I believe that would be incredibly difficult, but would be for the best.
Alex,
at
I'm
least
pretty
2
sure you can
of
do
them
it.
would probably.
I'm confident.
I'm confident in your ability, but here's the thing. I think it's possible, but I think what's more likely, and again, my thing of why we need to be there for the fight, so we are the 4th, so we are an extra entity in that conflict. That's why them having 3 to occupy those 3, why we take one of them, so when they do decide to turn the guns, we have enough support that they don't have time or the coordination to do so.
Well, I will say that if we do this thing, they're going to report back what the moment they see
That
our
will start
ship.
an actual war. So.
That is, we are on remember how we said we weren't on a clock? The
Now we're
moment
on
they
a
see
clock.
us, we're on the clock. For whatever this is.
We also still need to decide if we want to send the SOS to try to call in others from outside the system, or if we want to.
That would.
Would they
Forego
be able
that.
to get in now that we know what happened?
I would send in the safe distance to teleport. I'm sure the message could be encoded.
They could come in from outside of the bubble.
And
Yeah, because you can just fly in mundanely. Just keep
also, I don't know how. I know that this place is interfering with psionic teleports. I don't know if it'll do if regular warping would
We don't know.
do it, because
We
it's
don't know.
not my skill.
When we
risk it.
when we were the last time we were warped here, because that's how we initially got here. We were about 10-ish light years outside of the anomaly space. And we have yet to we've yet to have a quantum warp attempted inside.
It could
Yeah.
equally be as dangerous.
Yeah, judging from what we just saw of that ship, I wouldn't try it. Unless you had a very small scale.
It was.
I would test an object first, like a
the
toaster.
old apple, the old token in the apple.
Well, I don't
So-
think we have anyone here who can do that, so I think we just need to tell them if they send in the cavalry to come in from outside the anomalous space.
So we, I think, given what you've told us regarding their precognitive capacities, we should not do this on an unscheduled or something that doesn't fit the current patterns of patrols and encounters. We have the closest of their systems is System 26. We have a scouting party arranged for a little under a month. There'll be travel time to get there as well, but I would think that we should not do something that's unexpected.
I agree.
The more we ripple everything, the more likely. Now they're likely having the same problem you're having,
Oh yeah.
which
Oh,
means
but
they're probably keeping everything very close to the chest as far as their abilities.
And take it from me, the field here, if you mess up, it will. I mean, you've seen what it does to me. So they're not as keen on discomfort as I am, apparently. So, Lord knows what it looks like when they get exhausted.
A
big old
that
pile
would
of
probably
jelly,
just
I
bring a
bet.
smile to my face, honestly.
Just a big old pile of jelly.
Regardless, so yes, once the ASIYAH has been outfitted, and we can do some more planning, I think we'll include you in on that scouting party.
Yes.
To System 26. Now System 26 does have what we believe to be some biological remnants on the main planet there. We don't think that that's where the main contingent of harvesters are, but there is some biologicals that...
Well, this would
there.
probably be mostly a space confrontation, correct?
I understand. It's just something to keep in mind. If these things can possess biologicals, then it may be closer than...
It's possibly closer. We may, when we get close, we may have to do some...
We can do our usual
We can do
scouting.
some cursory scouting.
Okay, so
So you said a month, right?
Yes, a little under a month is the next planned raid on System 20... scouting mission on
In the
System
mean-
26.
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
In the meantime, would one of you, if that's really what we're going to go ahead with this idea, would one of you be willing to let me examine your physical, your hardware, and such, so I can make a plan for how to actually isolate it? And talk to
yes,
specs. I know that's a big ask, but
We can provide a dummy system that has all of the same hardware, but is not running a true replicant.
even better.
That, I think, would be the most acceptable way of doing so that you become familiar with the operating system.
And
If you're running something complicated that's not alive on it, that would be best.
Yes, we can have, I believe the term you use is SI.
Yes.
We have equivalents that we can
Perfect.
run on the cube so that it can process. Again, you can be familiar with it.
who holds the area close to the core or the center?
We surround it more. They have one system that is close to it. They have several systems close to it, but we have more.
Okay.
But it's probably more like a No Man's Land, Badlands.
Yes,
no
the
Man's
core
Land.
the core system is a shit show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a mini nebula there, like a very hot, very active nebula.
I still, if
You ever wanted to fly through the remnants of a sun?
Sure.
I need to know how they blew it up first, but yes.
On my list.
If, huh? Oh yeah, if they have weaponry or capabilities that can pack that much power, it's probably best if we know about it, so they don't go blowing up planets willy-nilly or nuking suns or any other number. If they have the technology to blow up a sun, we need to know how the fuck they did that.
That is true.
I look
But if I can
directly
fly
at the
through
ASIYAH.
it.
Well, Siberia has said they don't. Siberia said they have no fucking idea.
Okay, I forgot about that. Yeah,
And
yeah.
they said they don't know.
We have some idea.
Okay.
It involved somehow the core of the system of the star was made much hotter in a very point, like the stellar core.
And nuclear fusion?
Yeah.
Over the thing, I'm like,
Holy shit.
quantokinesis, transmutative powers.
I'm not in the link, so I can't hear any of that.
I mean, quantokinesis can do that. Thermokinesis can
Thermokinesis.
make an insane psychokinetic could do it, but quantokinesis is the more
Hey,
likely
Scott.
candidate.
need to know I have a very unique role.
Okay.
Do I know that the Doyen cannot do quantokinesis?
Give me an Enigmas roll, and you can add a specialty die for your Chichabrano.
Yo.
I thought it was going to be like, can I blow up a sun with
I
a burn?
can't. If I was, eventually I can, but I'm not going to do it right now. SPU. It's going to be ace of extra die.
Yeah.
Yep.
For your path.
Let's do this. I will take 5 hits.
Yeah, dog.
This dice roller likes me today.
Quantokinesis. This is something that the proxy has told you. Quantokinesis is the birthright of humanity and humanity alone. They can't. They're terrified of it.
Good. I wanted to know if I knew that I could bring that in play.
There's a reason why they put the kill switch on your order.
Yeah. So, one of the most fundamental aspects that we need to think. They use thermokinesis, by the way. The reason I know that, they can't do what I do.
Well, it's
They can't do quantokinesis. They're scared of us because of it.
Oh,
stuff just made
that makes
sense.
sense.
well, that makes sense. That's why they.
I'm glad you followed that train of thought.
Why,
Well,
why
I
you
mean,
not
why
really?
would they be up our asses so much? Like, what? Who cares? We're just a bunch of, evolved apes, right? Like, but I guess the moment we can start ripping reality apart with our minds in a controlled fashion, they're probably not.
So they use
Super into
thermokinesis.
it.
They probably use thermokinesis to
Or some Nova shit we don't even understand. That's what I want to know. Was it quantum or was it psi? That's.
if you
Oh,
get
you
close
could.
enough, you'd figure it.
I was
you could
like, yeah, we'd
definitely
be
figure
able to feel that. You're right.
You're right.
But I was
Yep.
thinking about the sun is using it cover if we need to ever get into the enemy territory.
Oh well, yeah, it's a real shit show.
Yeah, they say, so, all of their systems are essentially equidistant to the core. Well, technically all of the systems are equidistant to the core. It's a cube,
It is a
after all.
cube.
But they have,
Mathematical precision.
yeah. But we have more spaces, systems in that mix.
I just mostly want to, maybe within this month, where we have some time and are just remaining low or undercover, we can make a trip there. Because
Well, if we've got this enough time and we're going to wait, then we have plenty of time to do some reconnaissance.
Yep.
We can send a contingent with you to the core, and then you can just as easily make your way from there to 26 at the appointed time.
that works.
That works. So then now, is Jacob and then?
Oh yes, everything is going on. It's a very long process.
Okay.
Many formalities to observe.
I actually take a second. Go, Jacob. How's it going in there?
Oh, they don't like us, but it's fine.
Okay, just don't like you, not hostile though, right?
We can handle it.
Okay.
Yes. So they'll be involved for a number of hours. Right. So, I imagine you would like something to eat.
Now that you mentioned
You
it, I
have
haven't.
food that would be wonderful.
I just had a gulp pack about 6 hours ago. I could use something else.
I refuse to eat gold packs. I'm so hungry.
Not bad. Just gotta add some
Well,
hot sauce.
From what we can determine, our bioanalysis says is that we have a selection of local consumables that are compatible with human biology.
Ooh, eat something no humans eaten before?
Yes.
I'm ready.
Culinary first contact.
Yes. Follow me to the cafeteria.
For a second, I thought you were going to say follow your nose. All right, yeah, so I'll have
Oh, you'll smell it.
Yeah, so she leads you to sort of a meeting hall, food, beer garden kind of vibe
We
area.
just made it because we don't eat.
Yeah, but they can still, like you see, there are Sidereal
Yeah.
models here eating.
That's so weird.
Still like it.
It's one of the
It's a
great.
ritual.
It's one of the greatest things in the world you can do.
I know, but just,
It tastes so good.
I have all I can think of is the Matrix line of how do they know what taste we tasted like?
Yep. But yeah, so
she
you
would
are,
remember.
there are bowls of weird-looking organic matter,
I'm in.
Yep.
that are put before you, and it tastes weird, but it's eatable.
This is very stretchy.
Oh, I like the texture.
That's a
Ow.
really new one. Huh.
That's a new
It's
text.
gritty, but also stretchy.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like sandy bubble gum.
Yeah.
Sandy.
And as you are eating, you are joined by the fully instantiated body of Akiva.
My bro,
Yay!
Hello!
come eat this insane thing with us.
First time for everything, I guess.
This is not how it usually goes. I'll tell you that.
The texture is very
It's
unique.
like sea urchins fighting back.
Oh, yeah, he gets a bowl and starts chowing down. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta give him chili.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
gotta get.
chili.
We gotta get.
oh, I'm looking forward to the galley.
Yes.
Oh, we gotta.
Back
When we
on
get
the
back
side,
to.
yes.
When we get back to the. Back to Earth. There's so much crazy shit we got.
Oh, you want to come party with
Pineapple.
us on Earth?
I'm looking
Yes.
forward to it.
That's exciting.
Wonderful.
Well,
How so? So that was a fairly painless process.
No, yeah, it's like I'm familiar with the process of jumping into and out of various devices and whatnot, but yeah, so the process is just I have a memory of what it was like to be in a body,
Okay.
and to be in a person. I remember what it was like to be my old self, and this is very familiar to that.
Oh, that's cool.
oh,
So it's very good.
But it's also not
Excellent.
brand new.
No, it's
for
not
you.
brand new, but I mean there are tear ducts in this thing. I cried.
I
Yeah.
understand.
So yes, no, I'm very glad to be able to experience this sort of thing.
Oh hell yeah, slap.
Oh my, okay.
That's the stuff.
You're like, tang.
No, it
Friend slap.
yeah.
Yep.
That's like,
It feels like a shoulder. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not hard metal.
So we had a crazy few hours.
I imagine I've been watching the
Yeah.
parade or
precision-
thing, the protocol thing.
Yes.
I found them. You know, when we found the church on board the ASIYAH, the suits of armor were deeply confusing. Less so now.
Yeah.
yeah, that's an interesting cultural shift to be a little bit more.
What a choice.
Yeah.
Swords are cool.
Why go back to that feudal sort of?
Because their main guy is called the Ascendant.
I know.
Also, I bet they whip serious ass.
No, I'm eager to see what they can
Listen,
do. I'm just
I don't feel like we look like, listen, having been in I haven't been in that many fights, but like, I don't feel like we look particularly awesome while we're doing any of it. But I feel like if you're swinging a sword and got like, I don't know, it's very Tor. You know, ever read the Tor book? The book by Tor? It's very bad.
I think I look pretty cool when as his
I've seen
armor comes back over his body.
But do you have a sword?
But do you have a 6? He does have a.
Actually, I do.
He has
a vibro blade.
He has a vibro sword. So,
For vibro
All right.
sword.
All right.
so you know, I guess you're a little closer to the sword wielding lunatic that would wade into a bunch of aberrants with a claymore and a
It's
plate
not my
armor.
preferred method, but I'll
That's
do
all
what I
that
have
guy
to.
had.
Well,
I
they
didn't
also
see any
have-
guns on him.
Problem is, all that's tech. That's not just.
Oh, I know, but it's amazing tech. What a choice. Aesthetics matter, all right?
It's true.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're gonna do something, might as well do good while you're doing it.
Be fashionable.
Yes.
Yes. Well, the Covenant certainly have a way about them, from what I understand. At least what Sideria has been telling me. I still don't
So there's
remember.
the AM Covenant, which is obviously its own organization.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the Confederation, which is kind of the overarching
The sovereignty.
the government.
Yes.
UN versus Trinity, I
Yes,
suppose.
that's what I was
Something
assuming.
along those. I mean, from what I understand, I suppose I'm speaking for them. The Covenant is part of the Confederation, but set apart from it in many ways. You should probably talk to them about that. I don't want to speak for them.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's apparently I can read the shade in Auntie Sideria's mouth about it. So I'm not going to. I don't want to say what I think filtered through her. You should ask them.
No, I get it.
Yeah, we kind of got the tension. There's a lot of tension. It's okay. Once we get this resolved, I think they're gonna skedaddle with us. So.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
We'll see how this all shakes out.
I see no other way for them to get back to their home.
Let me set some scrubber bots to clean out the chapel.
Oh yeah, they'll love that.
Yes, good idea.
Excellent. So yeah, you guys finish a meal and are left to your devices for the time being. Eventually you do hear something from Jacob. It says like, we are available. Do you wish us to meet you on the ASIYAH or?
Please.
Yes, please.
Right. So yeah, you kind of get the that they are cleared and ready to mingle. So they make their way to the ASIYAHs, and I assume the rest of you do as well.
Has their plant friend come out of his?
Yes.
Effluvia?
Effluvia, yeah.
Effluvia, yeah. When you guys, I'm assuming you guys just like meet up on the galley of the ASIYAH. Yes, when you see them again, Effluvia has very much like Groot, but if Groot was a succulent.
It has such a cool looking texture then.
Yeah. He's
Like a jade.
he's pretty tall. He's like somewhere between 7 and 8 feet tall.
Oh, Jesus.
When he unfurls himself.
That was a massive pod then.
Yeah. Well.
It compacted itself.
Yeah, it compacted itself in. It's very strange because, like, there's an aesthetic to him, and then there's, like, a part of him that looks very different because it's a human mouth.
Oof.
And so when he greets you, he's greeting you with a mostly human-sounding voice out of his biokinetically crafted human mouth.
Well, and in the also we mind link.
Yeah, I've dropped Jacob.
Hey man, I've got a pair of chin polyps on the back of my skull. I can't. It ain't that weird.
It's weird when it moves.
And so,
Really and I want to know how this bio works. This is so cool.
he's a plant-based life form that has a good chunk of biokinesis running through him.
How does he move? Does he have roots that move, or does he have a?
Yeah, I mean, he in his current form, he's effectively
Yeah, because if he's biokinetic, that means he can have any sort of form kind of once.
He's just a
I don't know
long
what
guy.
he's like right now. Does he have
but
like
he does-
spider roots or
just big chunk, big succulent leaves that move.
Groot like
But he says, "Hello, thank you for saving my life amongst the lives of my friends."
You're very
Our
welcome.
pleasure.
Absolutely.
You're very welcome.
It's awesome to meet so awesome to meet people from other worlds.
You seem like
Indeed
you're
it is.
doing much better, which is fantastic.
Excellent. I'm fairly familiar with at least the human culture of the Confederation. But so yes, I'm assuming that the basics still regards. Yes.
Probably.
So yes. Okay. Good. Darn.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Darn.
Our people are much more if I were to show the gratitude in the way of my people, we would be having sex right now.
Yes.
Show gratitude to me later.
Very well.
Yes.
Go, Alex.
Filing that one
always-
away.
I always knew she was a Kirk. Not a Picard at all.
Absolutely.
I just looked at you and was like, all right, fair enough. Can't blame you.
Gonna have questions later.
Yes. So, how are things going on the war front? We didn't talk to them much about that.
We got a plan that we're gonna be on ice for about a month, though.
Oh, okay.
We're going to do some reconnaissance, like we kind of originally planned, do a few of that, but then we have a plan to potentially isolate one of the bees and their core and bring it unharmed and in stasis back to us so that we potentially can get to the bottom of what exactly is going on so that we may be able to help them.
And ideally free that particular Sideria bee out of whatever's controlling them.
That would be wonderful. I mean, you, assuming we have your leave to join you, we would love to help you out in any man. This is Jacob talking,
please.
by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, having extra hands will be
Certainly.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are a lot more stations. Actually, he's like, no, that's about right. There's about enough stations now for every station to be manned on the ASIYAH, rather than just the four of us split between all of them.
Oh, there's also a chapel, a Covenant chapel down that way.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
might be interested.
We will certainly take up residence there, around there. That would be very good. We were aware that the ASIYAH had a chapel that wasn't in use.
We were deeply confused by it when we found it.
Yes. Well, it was part of the various agreements and whatnot between the various branches of the Confederation. Vessels of this class were meant to have a chapel, even if it wasn't occupied and in use.
By chapel, because I was unaware that it was chapel, I hadn't gone down there.
Oh yeah,
It's kind of hidden.
So the Alien Covenant from the Confederation is a religious order?
No. It is. We have a lot of religious iconography, but no, we are a secular organization. But there are many reasons for why we do the things that we do and why we take on the aesthetic that we do. If I were to summarize it, I would say it is a pointed effort to separate ourselves from the culture of the Confederacy in as many ways as we can.
That's fascinating. That is not for me to probe because that is not my area of specialty, but that's interesting.
Why swords?
It's part of that. We will to be anachronistic, to be
cool.
strange, to be not to be
Also-
not a part of that culture.
Also, to be unassuming. No offense in the world
There's
of
nothing unassuming
lasers.
about this.
underestimated maybe.
That's what I mean.
When-
That's what I mean.
When we show up, we want to make the statement that we are here.
No, I can. I can
understand that.
Yep.
I'm gonna show you Angel of the Lord real quick. Hold up. Oh yeah.
Oh my, that is a lovely piece of weaponry.
Yeah, that's my graduation present.
See, no, not religious, not religious. I mean, we have people who are believers amongst us, but the organization itself is secular.
I'm just interested because I did not know there was that much of the affectation involved in that.
Taking on the trappings of religion can be very powerful.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And given what our main mandate is, we need to make a statement when we come to town.
Yeah, there seems to
your
be
main-
some.
What's the
Your
mandate?
main mandate?
So we are to enforce our main mandate is to enforce a specific portion of the edict. That being that novas who wish to transcend beyond a certain level of their humanity need to do it away from baseline populations.
That's
And
sensible.
We were given that mandate. We were given the authority to enforce that mandate.
I can see why that might ruffle some feathers of people who really like the idea of transcending.
Yes.
So you're
Or people
basically
who like power and don't want to go anywhere.
It's the
I
same.
like power, but I'm lazy.
don't
Well,
start
you-
none and there won't be
Amazed at
none.
how
Yes,
those
yes,
things
there
kind
are-
of go.
there-
Why, hello, Senator.
Yes, they are. There is one specific place where they're supposed to go, but there are also other places where they cannot be around baseline populations, and we
doesn't
make
tend to
sure
go
that they go there.
Can I ask a sort of? I know
I like
this.
that.
I do too, but this has been on my mind for my whole adult life. life since I learned about the Nova Age. How do you go from being like, say, like Akiva's former self, a powerful Nova, really powerful quantum abilities? When's the tip over point to crazy tumor monster? How does that happen? Does that
Oh, well, that's a very complicated question.
never had a chance to ask.
So you have one thing that I think may have been lost in the chaos is that the colony is a very particular sort. That's his deal.
Well, I kind of
And
understood
he
that
likes to make sure that everything around him is also like that. He and his forces are a very tiny percentage, relatively small percentage of Nova kind that left.
But
You guys,
so the choice, the choice. Okay, so I don't want to talk in terms of basic moralities here, but if we want to just assign good, bad, right? Just using the two quantum users we have just described. How do you get the colony versus the nice guy? Do you make the choice to turn yourself into an inhuman monster to dominate, or does it drive you insane?
simplifying it as best as possible. Nova kind, like all beings, have the capacity to grow and expand their capacity. Those that do it slow and measured and do not and grow with deliberation tend to maintain control of their faculties better than those who accelerate very quickly in their powers and abilities. That is simplifying it down as bare bones as I can.
So that leads to the next question that's also been driving me nuts for a couple weeks now. And I pull up a picture of the unkillable worm fucker that we blew up. That used to be just a guy?
Yes.
Holy shit.
There's a reason they're dubbed aberrants.
Yes.
Aberrations.
Well,
And
yeah.
from what I understand, that word aberrant, it's actually very fascinating because it began as a slur and then was appropriated by a subgroup who were a subgroup of Nova supremacist faction that were really, really about Nova supremacy, as opposed to from a more philosophical perspective. They appropriated the term aberrant, and then as that faction sort of came to dominate or grow, at least from Earth culture perspective, that just sort of became the name from it.
Oh,
That's my understanding of it. But it's more of a political term than anything else, at least from our perspective.
Yeah, that is what...
Yeah, it's almost a universal term home because when all of you left, the only ones who ever came back were
The jerks.
Yes, and the colony and his forces definitely violated that portion of the edict.
Well, they've made their home. They've got a big old nest under the FSA currently, which we are concerned about. But it's contained as far as we know.
At the moment?
At the moment.
Well,
Although we haven't gotten any news from home for a while, so.
That's fair. But
well, that's unfortunate. But yes, no. I mean, the colony is a concern to the Covenant. And hence why we wanted to help you out regarding it.
Well, yeah, if we can.
But yes, no, I hope it is a relief to know that the majority of Nova kind does not consider Earth
I just wish.
as a
It
viable.
that is good to know, and I trust you believe that.
I mean, there were many Novas who did not come with the contingent that formed the Confederation. Eden being one of them, although we are in communication with them. The Confederation cannot claim responsibility for all of them.
Oh, and I don't think, but you have.
It's just the fact. Okay, we get what you're saying, Nate. But you're still a mortal mind, and sometimes having all that power makes you go, as power does, makes you go a little nuts.
Hence our responsibility to separate those that are pushing themselves beyond the limits of humanity.
And I'm very thankful that you do such a job.
So, the unkillable serpent we met that was this huge world snake that was wrapped around a giant space station that used to be a person. Are there non-corrupted novas who have taken on such different forms than their original, so like human bodies, like that are that large and strange, or is that something that only comes along with the corruption that makes them, as you said, deranged tumor monsters?
Yes, some novas utterly transcend humanity without losing control of themselves, or
Good for them.
no.
Some of them are
here's-
still assholes.
Yeah, some of them are in fact still assholes. They're not uncontrolled. They're not out of control of themselves.
You could be an unpleasant jerk without committing genocide.
Exactly,
Like,
yes. And that is one of the reasons why we come along with the broom and get them to go to, those we certainly send to the Terrace Gate. But there are other places outside Confederation space that those who do not wish to take that path can be ushered off to.
Wow, it sounds like
Terrace Gate.
It's a world on the edge of Confederation space where it was the place where the Ascendant left this plane of reality.
Oh.
And it is easier there for Novas along that path to follow him.
I see.
that's.
But we certainly, we are rather tired.
Oh,
No,
sure.
sorry.
We're
Yeah,
in the
no.
middle of space. Yeah.
So
Problem is
we
we-
had to go through a whole bureaucratic
Yeah,
thing.
we've got rooms, we've got a
We've
place
got
to
cats.
get decent food.
And take these bands.
Oh, yeah.
The bands.
Yep, everybody.
Excellent.
Good call.
So we will definitely answer more of your questions
Sure.
and formulate strategy.
We
later,
could
but,
talk for days
We're just
about all
we're
the
just
little
excited.
details.
We're mostly just excited.
Certainly, we're excited to talk more as well. But I know I am quite tired. And where I go, Annabelle goes, and Rick Rock does his own thing, and Effluvian kind of like
He has a plan for
gives you kind of the nod, like I'm ready.
I've got a little stuff to attend to. I'll know which room's yours. I'll knock later.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, yes. Thank you for your hospitality, and I think yes, we all need to take a little bit of a rest.
No, I have a lot to think about.
And that's where we'll leave it off for this episode of Trinity Continue of ASIYAH.
Plant fucking.
Owls bend off more than they can chew.
So much pollen.
Don't worry, it'll regrow.
Anyway, thank you guys for playing. Thank you out there for watching. If you'd like to support the show and the channel, please go to patreon.com/Simulacra Studios. Become a patron. Check out our Discord. Chat with all of us. Maybe even roleplay with us. And yeah, let's continue to crack open this plot nut
Yeah,
that we've got going on here. See you guys next week.
Bye.